Very nice. Okay, ladies, welcome everyone. I'm so happy that you are here today. You made a really good decision for yourself, for your dating, for improving your life, and for becoming the dream woman. Because no matter in which step of our life we are, there's always room for improvement. And many of the women here, I know we are very driven and high achieving, and we always want to grow to the maximum level and be the dream woman. Every month we can be a new dream woman, isn't it? I mean, that's really me, I must say. So before we begin today, I just want to remind you with my heart why you are here. Usually, not because something is wrong with you. This is not like some therapy or psychological thing, like to heal. No, it's really more like because something you want more, you desire more. There's something more. Not because you need some fixing. Of course, there's room for improvement, like we said, but not because you need some fixing or anything or you are broken. But most of the times we are here in these coaching spaces, in these professional coaching spaces where we give deep teachings because we desire more. A life in this case where we are supported, a relationship where we are cherished, a man who wants to provide, protect, and build with you. And this is not fantasy, let me tell you. This is what happens when a woman is deeply embodied and regulated. And let me tell you a little bit about myself. I know many of you already know, but I know every time I tell a little bit about my story, you get to know something and maybe you can identify with something that you did not before, and this really helps, even though it sounds repetitive. 8 years ago, my dating life looked very different. I was overgiving, confused, attracting men who didn't choose me fully. And what changed everything was not learning more boring strategies or learning more step by step, which is not so much my style. What really changed, it was changing my state, changing the state of my nervous system. And this is the truth most women never hear, have the chance. 8 years ago and 10 years ago, I didn't have the chance to know about this, never heard about this, never had the chance to practice this. Why does this happen? Because most of us, we are so focused on doing work and so many of these things that are just like logical reasoning that we forget about our body, our regulation, our even our psychological health sometimes. And this takes a toll more often than we want to on our health. And this really happened to me since I was very young. I'm 34 now. And when I was 18, I was already struggling with so many bodily issues, not like the most important sickness, but some little sickness here and there that was making me struggle a lot in my daily life. So there was lot of discomfort, a lot of pain. I was struggling because I was somatizing. There were unresolved things. I could not deal with stress. There were so many things I could not deal with. And this also showed later on in my relationships. And what is this truth that most women never hear, apart from not knowing about all these techniques and all these things you can do to heal? One of the things are that the problem with my relationships back then was not only the men, and it was never you also. It was not fully the men, it was not fully you. It was the way your body learned to survive for years. Therefore, in my case, I was sick and struggling in relationship when I was very young, from 18 until almost 30. So this is a long time to struggle. It's the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful stages of life. And I admit it, I was really struggling. It took me some time to heal and a process to learn about all of this, to do the investigations, to do the trainings, to really know how to deal from deep within. And before we go deeper today, I want to show you something. Some of you may have already seen this before, but today I want you to feel it differently. Because understanding your pattern in your mind is very different from seeing how it lives in your body. And there are three patterns I consistently see in dating. And almost every high achieving woman moves through one of them, not as a personality, but as a nervous system pattern. Some of you may already know it because some of you were in the WhatsApp and Telegram group. If you are not, you can let me know in the chat and I can send the links afterwards so that you can join. But some of you already have these little value pieces, and some of you already know these three patterns. And some of you were even writing me about it, like, hey, I'm a 1, I'm a 2, I'm a 3. Like, so you may be familiar, but for the ones who are not, I will just give you a little hint about it today. So they are not like, almost every high achieving woman, like we were saying, moves through one of those. Doesn't mean you have to be a 1 or a 2 only. You can move through one or the other depending on which stage of life you are. It is not a personality, so this is not a personality test, but it's more a nervous system pattern that you may be following sometimes. The number 1 is the independent achiever. She has her life together. She is successful most of the times, self-sufficient, used to leading, but in dating, her body doesn't know how to receive. So she overfunctions and unintentionally creates space for men to underfunction. And this is a very typical pattern that we see, that I see very often. Number 2, you can write me in the chat. I cannot look right now so much, but you can write me in the chat if immediately one resonates with you. You can write 1, 2, 3. So the number 2 is the emotionally invested romantic. Many of you, I must say, were writing me that you are this type. And this makes sense because I was also very much, the most time of my life, I was this type too. So it makes sense, that you connected with me because of that, because you have this pattern in common with me. What does she do? She loves deeply. She sees potential. She gives. She understands. She stays. But her body confuses emotional intensity with alignment. So she stays past the moment her clarity was already there. It's the typical case where we are so deeply in love, we are so blind, we stay no matter what. And this is very often problematic, especially in the beginning stages of dating. Number 3, the situationship woman. This woman is telling herself that she's going with the flow, but her body is actually in subtle survival. Let me know if this happened to you, because this has happened also to me. Even though I'm a 2, because I'm a romantic, but I am also sometimes in this situation. I was in the past in this situationship woman kind of stage. Because my body tends to be in this subtle survival mode because of me being high achieving and being used to needing to do so many things to be validated and needing this external validation. And what does she do? She accepts inconsistency. So let me know, were you ever accepting inconsistency? Probably with how dating is nowadays, more of us were accepting this inconsistency because it's what we find very often. But now we are here to learn we don't have to accept this anymore. And why does this woman, the number 3 type of woman, the situationship woman, why is she accepting this inconsistency? let me tell you, because this is very important, she is accepting because she wants to avoid losing the connection at all cost. So what this woman is more afraid of is losing the connection. So she accepts whatever, the inconsistency. She's in survival. She's really struggling. And none of these women are wrong. Of course not. These are intelligent adaptations. But all of them, in different ways, block real commitment. Because how many of us were struggling to get men to commit? This happened to me in the past. Like I was dating men who were, everything seemed fine, but there was a block in the commitment. And now we know why, because we are in this survival mode. We are trying to avoid losing the connection at all cost, and we are forcing it too much. And this is the shift we do today. Because dating for marriage requires a different internal state. Not more effort, not more strategy even, but regulation, standards, and direction. That would be the three things. If I want you to take something from today, is regulation, standards, and direction. This is wonders. This will elevate your dating. This will elevate your future husband and you as a future wife and you as the dream woman who is dating. And that's why today we don't start directly with dating advice. We will have it, of course. We start with your body, straight to it. Because you cannot shift a pattern you haven't met yet. And why do I do this work? I do this work seriously because I can. Not from urgency, not from financial need. And because I want you to have this life too. That would be the main goal. Because we talk about dating, men, relationships, marriage. And I want to make sure that every part of you feels safe today. And we should start with our bodies. Many of you know that I have a very well-known past with body work because I'm a dancer. I was a ballerina since I was 7 years old. I was also an actress when I was between 18 and 22, 23 years old. So the body work, the level of body work we were using in these professions, these specialties in performing arts is really huge. And when I combined it with the somatic experiencing that I was using to heal, everything connected for me. And later, when I applied it to dating, everything together, then let me tell you, the commitment was coming. Even not marriage-minded men, that's I always say it in social media because I know it's getting the attention of everyone. Even non-marriage-minded men are attracted and they want to provide and protect the type of women who is in such a deep level of embodiment. They really want to do it. Even not marriage-minded men, they really want to protect you and do everything. So imagine what a marriage-minded man, when you find him, what he will do. So yes, this exercise alone, the one that we will do now, can already change how you show up on dates. So this is very precious. If you want to take some notes or if you want to really focus, you can do it. So I really recommend because this will really change you. And the more you do this type of work, the more you will change, the better you will show up on dates. Also before calls or even before opening your dating app or before going to this event where you network, going to this event where you dance and you meet people. Before anything, it really helps. And if you allow me, even when you are not dating, even if you just go to a place just for work or for something different, it will also help you show up differently with much more power and embodiment. But some power not coming from force, but coming from deep inner work, from deep loving and kindness. And this is the kind of strength that women show better. They are better at it. This is the kind of strength we have. And we should not force other kinds of strengths that really drain us or not benefit us so much. So let's continue with the exercise of awareness of your parts. Okay, here we will talk a little bit about the parts in ourselves. What will you need? It will take around 20 minutes, even less probably. You need to be not interrupted, so try to be not interrupted in this time. You will need a notebook or digital journal, a pen or colors, even if you like, if you are more the artistical style and you want to, you feel like using colors. And before working with our internal parts, we first need to meet them from the self. And let me explain you what the self is a little bit, so that you have this initial idea so we can start ready for the exercise. The self is a state where we experience curiosity, compassion, clarity, calm, confidence, courage, creativity, and connection. Isn't that great, huh? It sounds really amazing, and it really is. This would be like separating these annoying thoughts we have all the time, like, oh, this cup is blue, I don't like blue, or I love blue, or something like that, that is repeating, separating this part that is always commenting, or ruminating about things, separating it and becoming the observer. So we become this observer of these comments, we become an observer of what is happening around us, what we see, and we separate. And this is the self. And this self can act, if we allow it, with curiosity, compassion, this clarity, connection, all of these wonderful things. So this practice is simple, I must say, but very powerful. It helps your nervous system to learn that you are in charge now. If at any moment this feels difficult, there is nothing wrong with you. This takes time to learn. We can go slowly, and there is no rush at all. So, I want you to find a comfortable position, sitting or lying down, and take a few deep breaths. If you want, you can start closing your eyes. If not, you can start a bit later, closing your eyes. And bring your attention inward. Just keep breathing, enjoying it. Now you will notice any physical sensations, some tension, some thoughts, emotions present right now. And from everything you notice, allow one sensation or experience to come forward. Just the one that attracts your attention the most, for example. Notice how you experience it. Is it something you feel in the body? Is it an image? A sound? Now notice how you feel towards this part. If you don't feel curiosity or openness, that's okay. Gently ask the part that is reacting to tell you more. Ask in the way you would, the way you talk to yourself. Ask this part, this reactive part, what it wants or needs from you. Acknowledge it, validate it. Then you can respectfully ask it if it would be willing to relax or step aside just a little. If it doesn't want to step aside yet, stay with it. Thank it for protecting you. Now check again how you feel toward the original part. Is there more openness, curiosity, or compassion? Ask it now what it wants you to know and what it needs. And now is the time to allow the part to express itself fully. You may draw or write how it wants to be represented. Just take now a few minutes to enjoy it. Now that you've taken your time to journal, to draw, whatever this part was asking from you, you can ask the part if you would like you to come back and spend time with it again. Just ask, just wait for the reply. Anything is good. These are your parts. And now thank the part for what it shared, whatever it is. If it feels right, even place a hand on your chest or on the place in your body where you felt it or where you saw it. Now, slowly, if you closed your eyes after the drawing or journaling, you can start opening it. You can look at some nice place in your room. Move your hands or your feet slowly, getting back to it. And let me tell you, ladies, this is self-leadership. Well, what we just did. A woman who leads herself like this does not chase, convince, or overgive. What we just did is not random, never, because you cannot shift a pattern you haven't met yet. And now you are not just understanding your pattern, you are starting to separate from it. When the body is regulated, discernment becomes natural. You don't have to force decisions. You don't have to overthink. You simply see clearly. And this is where most women struggle, especially most of us high achieving women, because we override clarity with chemistry sometimes. And this is exactly what we saw earlier. When you're in one of those patterns that we were commenting about, that some of you already in the WhatsApp groups replied to me, hey, I'm this one. When you're in one of those patterns, you don't choose from clarity. You choose from your nervous system. The independent achiever overfunctions. The romantic attaches to potential. The situationship woman accepts inconsistency. So this happens not because you are doing something wrong, but because your body is trying to create safety. So instead of judging the pattern, what we do is we bring structure. Let's talk about what actually creates clarity in dating. Because some of you may be more or less familiar with rotational dating. And this is very good way of doing dating for marriage. I must say is the best right now. It's called rotational dating for a reason, because it really gives you this rotation so that you can act from clarity, not from need, not from being a needy person, but you can act from the clarity, from being regulated. And rotational dating, as contrary as it may seem, I know when we don't know it so much, it may seem that it's about confusion, but it's not. It is about removing urgency. And when you remove urgency, the opposite of confusion comes. So you are not exclusive until there is commitment. You are not attaching prematurely. You are observing. And this is intelligent, and this is where our high achieving self must come out and say, I'm observing, I'm intelligent, I'm not attaching prematurely. This is where we show how powerful we really are. Because when urgency disappears, discernment appears. And this is one of the most important things in dating. Now, this is where most women need support also. Because without structure, we go back into the pattern. And this is where the love list comes in. Tell me in the chat if you ever heard of the term love list and rotational dating. If you at least heard it, maybe you are more or less familiar. Doesn't matter because we are gonna give details on what it is, so you will know. But if you heard about it before, the love list or rotational dating, let me know in the chat or just react so I know. If you never heard of it, also let me know. You can tell me, no, I never heard of it, so I can be a bit more in depth, bring even more details to it. So, never heard of it, okay. Okay, no worries, because today you will know a little bit more about it. That will be my goal today, Linda. That today you have a clear picture of what it is and you can start doing it and using it if it resonates. Yes, I'm active participant in my love list and rotational dating online. Yes, yo. Good job. Okay, nice. Thank you, ladies, for commenting a little bit so I can be more specific with what we need. So yes, we were saying love list. Love list is coming in now in the picture in our play shop today. Because I don't believe in vague desires. Let me know if your desires vague, because mine are not. I desire a lot. I have this mind that is always creating. My desires are really powerful. They are not vague at all. And your standards, in order to get these desires, need to be clear and structured. We divide them into 4 categories. Okay, this is how I like to do it. I know some other people like to do the love list in a different way, but for me, 4 categories is perfect. Okay, and they can be different. You can also adapt it if you have some different needs. And in more, when I do private coaching or group programs, there I recommend some adaptations on this love list. But to begin with, now for the play show that we don't have so much time to go in depth with a personal needs of each one because we are a lot today and we don't have so much time. We get this general picture of the love list and we can start working on it. And because also we are high achievers, at some point we find a way to adapt it to us. So I give you something today, but I know Joe, Linda, all of you, Gina, you will be changing it in 2, 3 days because you will immediately see, okay, this is good. This I like, but I will change it a little bit to adapt it for me. And this is good, this is something very good. If you have help of a coach, a friend who is already married, someone, who was already practicing this, is much better. But if not, just trust your intuition. Because after doing this regulation exercise with it, you should really trust your intuition. You are fully open, you are fully intuitive, and you can really know what is good. So, yeah, let's get to it. Here you can take some more notes if you like. 4 categories. Number 1, I call it the non negotiables. This is a must. I think this, you can change the name if you don't like the name non negotiables, but I think those are very important, the most. These need to be between 5 and 7. That's what I recommend. And these are absolute. If they are not met, the process stops. I know for many of the romantic ones in the room, this will be difficult because we trust potential. We see, I don't know if you know, I'm a Buddhist, so I practice Buddhism, I meditate. And in Buddhism, we say we all have a Buddha inside of us. So we are all Buddhas. We just need to polish the diamond, so that it shows, so that it can be there, it can be visible. So we need to really work on the meditation for this diamond, this Buddha to show, but it's there. So the romantic, we believe that there is potential in every man. We have this open heart for it, and we believe in potential a lot. So I get it. But when we are dating for marriage, we should see that all men can be great. This doesn't mean they are not great, but we need to focus on who we want to marry because these men could be great, but this is not what you are deciding right now. This is not your goal, and you should go for your goals. And if they are not met, if they are not having these non negotiables that for you are super important in your future husband, the process really stops here. Examples, for example, are marriage minded. For example, most of us here, we want marriage minded, emotionally available, for example, and someone that is aligned with our values, someone that is financially responsible. Most of us here, we want this because we believe this traditional marriage, this high value, high achieving people who get together to build empires or to build families, to really have meaningful projects together, whatever those are. And usually we need that, we need marriage minded men for this. We need value alignment. We need them to be financially responsible. Some of us also want to be highly provided. We want to get a lot of this financial freedom even more. We probably already have it because we are high achieving, but we want even more. We want them to protect us also financially, because this doesn't look good when you say it in society sometimes. But we should stop hiding, because this is the traditional way. This is how it's shown, is how men flourish, how men show all their value when they are providing, when they are being financially responsible for their woman. This is where they can show a lot of strength, and they love it. They love it. I know many men say they don't love it, but this is because they don't really know, or they cannot do it, so they have to hide somehow, They still need to work on it. But this is okay. This is not the type of men we are talking here. We are here dating for marriage. So these are examples of non-negotiables that are very typical. If you have some other non-negotiables that are important for you, you can let me know. And then maybe in the next play shop, we can also comment and add it. But these are here usually in us, in the type of women who are looking for high value relationships, for men who protect, men who lead. Usually these are the basic non-negotiables for most of us. This number two, it is strong preferences. So strong preferences is also very important. So we should also give it like try to have 80% of our strong preferences. So for the first, for the non-negotiables, 100%. For the second, around 70-80% strong preferences. So these are qualities that you deeply value, but you have flexibility with. So I can give you a good example about myself because I just mentioned I am a Buddhist practitioner, and for me, it's a strong preference that okay, I'm married already to a Buddhist. Okay, so it but imagine I'm dating right now. So for me, in strong preferences, it would be that he's also practicing Buddhism and meditating like me. So we can go to courses together. We can, do activities related to that, projects in this style of projects. But for me personally, it is not non-negotiable because I could also date a Christian. I come from a Christian background and I'm super okay, super relatable, and I think it's super compatible. And I don't care if I grow my kids in Christianity or Buddhism, for example. So this is, for example, a strong preference. Okay, I would prefer that, but I also can accept other, like I have some flexibility about it. So this is a very good example. And if you want to write me some of your strong preferences, because this one is sometimes very varied. Some women have something that is non-negotiable in the strong preferences, and another one is completely opposite. Like it may change a lot, depending on who you are, what matters to you, what your values are. So I would like to know about what are your strong preferences? Do you consider your strong preferences? Number three, it is the nice to haves. Nice to haves. These are things that add joy, but are not essential. So here is a good space for hobbies. So, for example, I can say about me that I like a lot climbing. So I was climbing in the mountains for a long time of my life, and now I don't do it so much. But of course, when I was dating before marrying, I would have loved, it would have been nice, nice to have a man who loves climbing too, because it is an activity that connects me with nature. One is facing fears all the time and overcoming difficulties all the time, and this adrenaline is coming through. And also in nature, when men and women are together, naturally this polarity appears, like an attraction explodes. This I experienced, and I was dating sometimes some climbers, and I could really experience that. So, for example, this is a nice to have, but of course, my husband nowadays he's not climbing. He tried once, and that was it. So it's a nice to have. It could add joy, yes, but I could also find now new activities and do new activities with him that are also adding joy. It's not essential for me, at least. Maybe for someone who is a professional climber, for sure it could be an essential, could not. So you see how this is flexible, also very flexible. Okay, interesting what Joe is commenting. She says to what we were saying about religion. I feel like you do with religion. Also, the non-negotiable is that he anchors via religion. I think because what I can understand from this is that Yes, like in my case, I don't care. Okay, as long as it is a compatible religion, in my case, I can do with it. Like, but it's true that, like you said, that this man needs to be anchored by religion in a way. Like he needs to be spiritual, aligned with values, and this is very often coming from religion. So if I understood correctly, if not lately, Joe, in the questions and answers at the end, we can comment more of that. But let me know if I more or less understood, because I think that that's how it would be for me. But maybe it's different for you. So this is also okay. And now the number 4 is the bonuses. I call it very simple. Bonuses, they are just bonuses. They are beautiful extras, but not expected. Very important, because sometimes we are confusing bonuses with strong preferences and we expect them very often, or usually when we are already committed, we are like, but I expected this, and this brings some confusion. So having this list written, not just in your head, but having it written could be a reminder when you are struggling later on, when you are already committed, or when you are newly married and you're struggling, you see, okay, this was a bonus. Be accepting of what you chose, because this is what it is, and we need to be consequent with what we choose. And this structure, this lovely structure is keeping you really grounded. This is giving you the structure to keep you grounded, to prevent fantasy bonding, to prevent this fantasy that we were saying that I'm expecting. Okay, that we can have a million non-negotiables, but is it really realistic? We need to be very careful when choosing our love list and being very caring and knowing what is possible, what is not, what you need, what you don't need. It may take more time if you have a million non-negotiables, but at least you are consequent with what you want. And this will keep you fully grounded if you are sticking to your love list during your rotational dating. And here is where most women self-sabotage. They ignore their non-negotiables, even when they know it, even when they are writing their love list. This still happens. We still struggle sometimes. We ignore our non-negotiables. We are driven by maybe the preferences. Maybe we are getting driven by the bonuses because we like it so much. But here also chemistry is present, Here chemistry is also distracting us a little bit sometimes from our non-negotiables. And this is on these practices that we do in the programs, in the coachings. This will help us keep on track and not lose it so often. And this is where we need to talk about the spark. Haven't we all heard about the spark? Yes. How many men in their dating apps they have, oh, I want to meet you in their bios. I want to meet you and let's meet and let's see if the spark appears. Yes. Extreme spark, obsession, anxiety, urgency. This is not attraction. I understand that these men saying that in their bios, they're not coming from a bad place. No, it's just what we are used to hearing. It's the brainwashing that we have from TV, from what we read. This spark, we are obsessed by it. But this is not attraction. This is nervous system activation. And it often means unpredictability, emotional unavailability, familiar chaos also. And your body is recognizing something that it already knows. And that's why sometimes the spark is so strong. And yes, real attraction feels different. How it should feel if you are really following the rotational dating principles. You are following your love list. You are doing the nervous regulation, all the practices. Real attraction feels like calm, safe, grounded, and open. And this is how your body feels with a top candidate. A top candidate is someone who has all your non-negotiables, has a lot of strong preferences, even some bonus here and there. And he's really behaving really nicely and courting you really nicely in dates. And this is how you should feel: calm, safe, grounded, and open. Not anxious, not hyper excited, never dysregulated. And this is the nuance most people miss. Once a man already meets your standards, spark is welcome. But before that, it is a warning sign. This is how you stop repeating the same pattern. Not by forcing yourself, not by trying harder, but by choosing from regulation. This is the integration of body and standards. And this is what I do because I told you already about my past in performing arts, and this is where I integrate the body. This is where we heal the body so that we are ready, that we are the dream woman, ready for this marriage-minded man that will appear. But we also need to integrate the standards. We need to be very clear on what we want. And how do we do this? Or how do I personally do it? With neurolinguistics programming. Some of you may already know, even though I was working in performing arts and studying performing arts, I also studied in university linguistics. And I was integrating linguistics with neurolinguistics programming and making it together with the body work so that I can bring you this integration of body and standards. And this is why it is so powerful. Because it is not just some rules to follow, not just some regulation exercise, some yoga, some stretching, some going into your body, which is very important, but it's the combination of both, which will give us the perfect outcome out of our dating. It will help us become the dream woman. And this will put us in this situation where we will have a rotation and we can really choose. And we will really have the skills to choose, to discern, to differentiate what is right for us and what is not, what we are looking for and what not. And this is where everything changes. And this is exactly why I created the Marriage Queen program, which is a 3-month program that is a group-based program. So it's basically like here. Because each of the patterns we spoke about today requires a different level of work, not more information, but deeper integration. And this is where we go. Because this is not a course, this is really a program where we follow, where we integrate, where we calibrate everything. And we work with this body and this mind and this speech. We work everything together and integrate it. So now I would say, if you came here just for enjoying the play shop and that's it, now if you want, you can go. But if you want to continue getting to know a little bit more about this program, you want to stay for the questions and answers so we can go deeper into what you were saying in the chat. Now, if you write me a yes, that you want to stay and you want to listen to something more about the Marriage Queen program, you can write in there, you can stay if you want to hear more, and I will let you know. It's true that today we are just gonna be going quickly through the details, and tomorrow we will have some extra time to comment a bit more on the program. So if today you have more questions about the what we did today, what we were talking about, how to organize my love list, I'll be happy to answer to all the questions that we have time to answer today. And also about the program, of course. But tomorrow we will explain a bit more in depth. And also for tomorrow, I will give you the bonuses that we have for all of you ladies who were staying today in the play shop, today and tomorrow in the play shop. So we will have the bonuses explained tomorrow. Some bonuses that you can use, some until the end of tomorrow night, and some of them until Sunday. So we will have different bonuses depending on your level of commitment or on how ready you are to take the next step. But the bonuses, we will go tomorrow more in depth, and today we will keep it like more general and questions and answers. Okay, so yes, what we are going to do in this program is, like I said, it's not a simple course. It is a container, a space where your nervous system gets rewired, your standards become embodied, and your dating life becomes clear. I will jump into the question soon. And right now, you may have recognized yourself in one of those patterns, the patterns we saw in the beginning. But awareness alone is not what creates change. Let me tell you, I was aware of my problem for so long, but until I decided to take real steps to fix it, to embody the solution for it, embody the person that is already overcome these patterns, I did not see real change. I saw just little change. So yes, transformation happens through repetition, guidance, and safe depth. And this is what we do inside this program. Weekly calls, small groups, real support. And the result is what I call the dream woman, the marriage queen. Is a woman who doesn't chase, doesn't convince, doesn't overgive. And naturally, men want to step up. And this is not about the man, it is about the field you hold. You don't have to decide today, but you do have to be honest. Are you ready to stop repeating the same pattern? Or are you ready to shift it for real this time? If your body feels open, calm, and clear, that's your answer. And if not, that's okay too. We all have our moments when we are ready to do something or not. But we need to know what we lose if we don't act. If we don't act, maybe next year is too late to build the empire you want to build with your future husband. Maybe you are already too tired to take the dating steps. You are already too tired, too drained from days that go nowhere, from not filtering men before going on dates. So what are you losing really if you don't do the shift? But the work really begins when you are ready. And I would love to guide you through it. And today, even though we are not going so much in depth, and we have a lot of bonuses tomorrow to show to this program, 3 month program. So this is really very intense program, is 3 months. We take it relaxed, but it's intense. You know, you will really see results. It's weekly calls, it's support group, it's really being open, what you need to be very ready. So let's now go to the questions and the comments. Let me see. Okay, so let's see what Joe was telling us. Yes, I'm a Roman Catholic and he doesn't need to be a Catholic. This is about the non-negotiables and the preferences we were talking about. And he doesn't need to be a Catholic, but anchored by a religion I can resonate with. Exactly. As long as he is grounded in his community and church, I love that. I would say for me it's also very similar, Joe. And as a nice to have, she's giving us examples of her nice to have, so we have different views. I would love for him to be able to dance with me. I can feel surrender with him in public. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Tinika has a good question. Did you say you are not supposed to feel a spark? And then she continues, yes, I want to understand how to create the love list. What's most important to have on the list? Okay, we will go slowly. So yes, about the spark, Tinika, and sometimes we are driven by this spark that is related to chemistry. So don't we say sometimes, I had sparks going on, fireworks, chemistry. And what sometimes this spark is related to, if we are not fully healed, if we are still in one of those patterns, especially, I don't know if you recognize one of the patterns, if we are still in one of those, we may have very deep sparks going on. Because these sparks are usually connecting us to something we identify from our past, from some maybe issues we had in our family or with our parents when we were kids. And this reminds us of the trauma, and this connects to something that is familiar. And with this something that is familiar, the spark lights up. But what happens if it is activating some trauma response, like usually it is with sparks, unless we've done the work, but we will go later. If we are feeling this, it's usually a sign of a trauma response. Maybe this person, if we have some, for example, some abandonment trauma from our childhood, we could have it from some experience in kindergarten, from some experience with our aunt or our father or our mother. We could have it. If this person, for example, is giving us this intermittent reinforcement, we may get these sparks because we connect this reinforcement with our trauma from abandonment, for example. It's just an example for you to see. So sometimes this spark appear because of that. But what we train is the discernment on how to differentiate when it's spark for this chemistry or when it's really I feel so safe that I'm sparking energy myself. This is different, It's different when there is two fires and the crackings are mixing together and their sparks are exploding around, that when one is in its inner fire and is really giving this light and is feeling inner sparks. This would be different. The spark that the person is giving you is a trigger response to a trauma bond, to a trauma memory that is connecting. But if another thing is that we are feeling so comfortable, so calm, so grounded, like we were saying. I don't know if you were at this moment when we were explaining, but no problem. If we are feeling like that, then we may feel inner sparks, like from happiness, from deep inner joy. And this is the difference. And this is what takes some time to differentiate and to not bond from this spark. But it really, you can really do it. If you really put the work, the inner work onto it, you can really get in there and discern between one and another. And then you were saying you want to understand how to create the love list. What's more important to have on this list? Most important is to have between 5 and 7 non-negotiables. Between 5 and 7 non-negotiables, which are things like that he's value aligned. So for example, if one value for you is that you are a familiar person, that you want to build a family, for example, that he is also a family-like person. How is he connected with his parents, with his siblings, with his further family? How is he connected? This you can observe already in the dating process. There are some questions you can ask to identify and to see if he's, for example, a familiar kind of person. This would be an example of typical non-negotiable that we may have because it's something really important. Imagine if it's something really important for me to have a family and for my husband to be a family-like person, then I will need to check and test this. So this is just one example. Some example is, for some people, non-negotiable is that they are from the same religion. This is also could be a non-negotiable. So there are many. You need to find out first what you need to do is to realize what you desire. We were talking in the beginning about desires. First, you write down, you journal. You can do this exercise we were doing in the beginning and journal and draw around it. This is one beginning. If you want to take something from today, you can do this exercise. And after that, write your desires, what you desire from your future husband, from your life in general, with or without, to have it really clear what you want. And then you are ready to write your love list and start the most important you were asking me for the non-negotiables. Then strong preferences, things that would be nice to have, things that you would like to share but are flexible. So slowly go there, but you can start with this. If you are starting now, just do these exercises to be regulated, to be in your heart, to be open, and start writing down and see what it comes. First, be clear on what you want, then start writing your love list, your non negotiables. What does this man need to have for you to get this desire you have? And this is one good question to ask yourself also when you're writing it. Let me see more questions. This we were reading. Okay, now Tinika is commenting on the spark. So there is an inner spark, feels healthy, and then there is the unhealthy spark, feels like anxiety, right? How do you describe the healthy spark feeling? Amazing. I love this question, Tinika. So the healthy, I love the name also that you are putting to it. Healthy spark feeling. I love it. So healthy spark feeling would be when you are shining from inside out. So it would be when you feel so calm, so grounded, so much taken care of when you are on a date with this man or when you are on a call even. It is when you, don't you have this feeling sometimes when you are having a call with someone? Doesn't have to be a candidate, doesn't have to be a man. Maybe it could be your mother, your best friend. Don't you have sometimes this feeling like, oh, I could rest here, or I could be here hanging out with this person for 3 more hours, or I could enjoy silence with this person for hours too. This calm, grounded feeling is true, it can light up some sparks from inside out. And this is the difference. That when it's not this spark that when we have this intense feeling of jumping into this person immediately, this is usually this, what were you calling it? Did you have an unhealthy spark, feeling like anxiety? Don't you have it? Don't you? Because I had it in the past. I know very well what you're asking, Tinika, because I had it in the past. The unhealthy spark, like feels like anxiety. Like I need to jump and be with this person because he's creating this need for me. And I have the opposite, the healthy spark feeling. This, I'm so comfortable, but I'm also so comfortable just knowing that this person exists. That if I'm not right now physically with them, it's also okay. It's the difference, there is no anxiety because this person has created for you, this man has created the structure for you to feel loved and cherished, even when he's working and he's not talking on the phone with you or he's not physically with you at the moment. So this would be the main difference, Tenika. And we can also go more deep into the spark tomorrow because I know it's a topic that when we are in the initial stages of rotational dating, maybe Joe, who is a bit more advanced, she doesn't struggle so much with it. But I know in the beginning, when we are starting to write our love list, when we are starting on it, it is more difficult. It takes a little more time, but really, once you have the difference, and what we will do tomorrow, I will try to add it. Maybe we need more than 1 hour tomorrow. But we will do a visualization to identify this feeling, these two different feelings, and know how to identify it and know how to physically feel it in our body. This will be very nice for tomorrow exercise. Thank you, Tinika, you inspired it. So let's read a bit more, and then we finish. The unhealthy spark for me is the feeling I need to give more of myself, my body, or time or money to keep his attention. What do you think? Oh, Joe. Yes, I think you describe it perfectly. Because I was giving more the example of this physical need to jump into the person. But this is, like you described, giving more of my body. But it could be also give more of my time, give more of my money to keep his attention. So I completely agree. I completely feel it the same, Joe. I feel the same. Because it's really this constant need of giving, because this person is sparking this anxiety in you. And we need to overgive, overdo, because they activated in us this wound that we really need to heal through giving attention, but this never ends. This never ends. If we keep giving attention, this can never end because men can take our attention on and on and on and on, and this never ends. If we do that, and if we marry like that, then we will be drained, we will be tired, we will not be happy because this leaves you to unhealthy habits, overgiving all day, every day. So yeah, it's completely like that. So thank you, ladies, for being today. I think there are no more questions today. In any case, tomorrow we will have more. I take note that we do this specific exercise because I love the idea of it. And tomorrow we will go more in depth with the 3-month program, the Marriage Queen program. I will explain all the wonderful bonuses that we have first until the end of that day. And then also until Sunday, we have different ones to motivate you to take the next step. And we will just enjoy like today. It will be a play shop. It will be also playful. We will talk about different topics. We will go a bit deeper, but I'm sure we will have a lot of fun. So ladies, see you tomorrow. The same time, I will keep you updated in the WhatsApp and Telegram groups. If someone of you is not there, just write it so I can send you the link. And just enjoy the rest of your day. For me, it's night already. And keep in touch. If you have any questions, just feel free to send me some WhatsApp message or something. Just contact me, no problem. And tomorrow I'll see you. Bye, ladies. Enjoy.